Good morning, Coleman. Thank you for joining us on Coleman Today. I'm your host, Christine Wiggins, and today is Tuesday, January 13th. Coming up on Coleman Today, a Coleman IV clinic is shutting down after a state settlement over how weight loss drugs were marketed. Plus, Secretary of State Wes Allen says 186 non-citizens were found on Alabama's voter rolls, what that means in Coleman. And a major change is coming to Coleman's economic development leadership as a longtime figure behind decades of growth is set to retire. All this plus sports, weather, and more. Now let's take a closer look at the top stories happening in Coleman today. Alabama Attorney General Steve Marshall announced January 12th that the state has settled a lawsuit with Aurora IV and Wellness, a Coleman-based IV infusion clinic, and its owners, Amanda and Chris Metters. The lawsuit alleged the clinic was providing research-grade GLP-1 medications, but advertising them as pharmaceutical grade. Marshall's office said the settlement requires the Metters to pay $17,267.50 in damages to certain consumers who filed complaints with the Attorney General, along with $7,000 in state penalties and fees. Under the agreement, Aurora IV and Wellness will permanently close, and the Metters are prohibited from working in healthcare in any capacity that involves direct patient treatment. The Attorney General's office said Amanda Metters has also surrendered her nursing license to the Alabama Board of Nursing. In November, Marshall announced a temporary restraining order after the state filed suit under Alabama's Deceptive Trade Practices Act, citing concerns about public health and safety. The case involved weight loss drugs, tirzepatide and semaglutide. Alabama Secretary of State Wes Allen says his office has identified 186 non-citizens who were registered to vote in Alabama, including 25 whose voting history records indicate they cast ballots. Allen announced the findings January 6th and on Monday, January 12th, released a county-by-county breakdown showing where his office says the registration occurred and where ballots were cast. The list is posted on the Secretary of State's website. Allen says the review used the federal SAVE system through U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services after his office entered into an agreement with the Department of Homeland Security and USCIS to use the database for voter file maintenance. His office says each person identified through SAVE had an opportunity to submit documentation proving U.S. citizenship, and those who did not were removed from the voter rolls. Allen says all 186 removals have been completed. Locally, Cullman County Probate Judge Tammy Brown says one non-citizen registration was identified in Cullman County, but no non-citizens cast ballots here. Allen says the matters will be referred to local, state, and federal law enforcement for review. Dale Greer, director of the Cullman Economic Development Agency, is retiring after decades of service, closing out a career built on long-range planning, steady growth, and partnerships across the community. Greer became the director in 2017 following the retirement of longtime director Peggy Smith. By that point, he had already spent about 25 years with the agency, giving him more than 3 decades there. During Greer's tenure as director, Cullman earned repeated national recognition among micropolitan communities from Site Selection magazine, including top 10 finishes from 2017 through 2022, and again in 2024 with a number 2 national ranking in 23. Economic developers use micropolitan rankings to compare similarly sized communities based on job growth, investment activity, and long-term momentum. Over the span of Greer's time with economic development, Cullman's population grew from about 61,000 to more than 87,000. The number of major employers climbed from fewer than 20 to more than 30, and local jobs increased from roughly 18,000 to more than 26,000. Greer's work also included a focus on infrastructure and workforce alignment, with local leaders crediting his relationship-driven approach to helping move major initiatives forward. Assistant Director Jamie Troutman has been named interim director as the agency begins its transition. And that's all for our top stories this morning. Coming up, 3 big hoops results, 1 rivalry thriller, 1 dominant road win, and another late comeback that's keeping the area race tight. Sports is next. Welcome back. Basketball season is ramping up with area races tightening and the county tournament right around the corner. Here are your top local hoops highlights. Addison hosted rival Winston County on Saturday and came away with a split. The Lady Bulldogs fell 53-27, but the Bulldog boys delivered the highlight of the night with a 57-54 win in a tight finish. Addison trailed at the halftime, took control in the second half, and then sealed it at the free throw line in the final seconds as Winston County's last shot missed at the buzzer. Vinemont rallied again Friday night, storming back from an 11-point second-half deficit to beat Hanceville 61-57 on the road. The Eagles clamped down defensively after the break, limiting Bulldog sharpshooter Sam Abney after his big first half, and Bryson Bush sparked the turnaround with a gritty play and strong all-around impact. The win moves Vinemont to 13-7 overall and 6-1 in region play, sitting atop the region standings. West Point played hot in area play Friday night, beating Russellville 56-40 on the road for its 4th straight win. The Warriors jumped out early, answered a Russellville run before halftime, then took over after the break with a dominant third quarter, outscoring the Golden Tigers 19-10 to build a double-digit cushion. Jackson Shelton led West Point with 21 points. Maddox Chapman added 18, and the Warriors improved to 2-0 in area play with another matchup against Lawrence County coming up Tuesday. That's a look at the latest on the hardwood. Teams jockeying for area position now, with every possession starting to feel like postseason basketball. We'll keep tracking the area standings and county tournament momentum. And that wraps up sports for today. Coming up next, Wallace State is now taking applications for a new program aimed at high-demand healthcare roles. Plus, new federal dietary guidelines are bringing back the food pyramid, flipped upside down. Welcome back. Now it's time to speed things up with a news rundown. 4 stories in under 4 minutes. Federal health and agriculture officials have released the dietary guidelines for Americans for 2025 through 2030, bringing back a food pyramid-style guide centered on what they call real food. The original food guide pyramid debuted in 1992 and was replaced by MyPlate in 2011. The updated recommendations encourage Americans to build meals around protein, fruits and vegetables, full-fat dairy with no added sugars, and healthy fats from whole foods while still including fiber-rich whole grains. The guidance also takes a harder stance on cutting highly processed foods, refined carbohydrates, and added sugars, and recommends water and other unsweetened drinks. Officials say the guidelines will help shape menus and federal nutrition programs, including school meals and other government feeding programs. The full guidelines in the new pyramid are available online at realfood.gov. St. Paul's Lutheran School will host a Swamp John's fundraiser on Monday, January 26 from 4 to 7 p.m. as part of National Lutheran Schools Week. The event is open to the community. Organizers say the fundraiser is a chance to enjoy a meal while supporting the mission and ministry of St. Paul's Lutheran School. Tickets are $15 per meal and can be purchased in advance through the St. Paul Lutheran School office or the St. Paul's Lutheran Church office. A limited number may be available at the door, but advance purchase is encouraged because availability cannot be guaranteed. Proceeds will benefit St. Paul's Lutheran School and support its Christ-centered education program. For more information or to buy tickets, call the school at 256-734-6580 or the church at 256-734-3575. St. Paul's is located at 510 3rd Avenue Southeast in Cullman. United Way of Cullman County says it has transitioned away from its Business Alliance program and returned to a leadership donor model as the organization begins its 2026 campaign year. United Way of Cullman County says leadership giving helps support all partner agencies and aligns with four focus areas: healthy community, community resiliency, financial security, and youth opportunity. The organization says the change will help it respond to needs where they are greatest across Cullman and Winston counties. Under the updated model, donors can give in a business name or family name and receive year-round recognition on United Way's website with additional quarterly recognition on social media. Donors who give $500 or more annually are recognized as leadership donors and can participate using a community partner pledge form. For details, contact United Way of Cullman County at 256-739-2948. United Way is located at 104 Austin Avenue Southwest in Cullman. Wallace State Community College is accepting applications for summer admission to its new Speech-Language Pathology Assistant program, which the college says is the only community college program of its kind in Alabama. Speech-language pathology assistants work under licensed speech-language pathologists, helping patients of all ages improve speech and communication. Wallace State says the program blends classroom instruction with clinical experience, building skills in therapy support, data collection, and client interaction. With required prerequisites completed, the program can be finished in 3 semesters, leading to an associate in applied science. Graduates are prepared to apply for licensure and enter the workforce in schools, rehabilitation settings, and private practices, with options to transfer and continue toward a 4-year degree. Applications will be accepted through April 1st, and summer classes begin May 26th. For details, visit wallacestate.edu/speech-language or call Jennifer Craig at 256-352-8307. And that's your 4 stories in under 4 minutes. Now for a quick break before we look at the weather and pay our respects with obituaries. I'll be right back after this quick message. Let's take a moment to pause and remember those who have lost their lives this week. Iona Fawcett, 91, of Hanceville, passed away Saturday, January 10th. Visitation will be Thursday, January 15th from 11 a.m. to noon at Hanceville Funeral Home. Funeral service will follow at noon at Hanceville Funeral Home Chapel, with burial following at Valley Springs Cemetery. Brenda Gale Jennings passed away Sunday, January 11th. Visitation will be today from 5:30 to 8 p.m. at Cullman Funeral Home. Funeral service will be Wednesday, January 14th at 11 a.m. at Cullman Funeral Home Chapel, with interment in Flint Creek Cemetery. Our thoughts and prayers go out to their friends and families. Now let's take a look at your weather forecast. Today will be sunny with a high near 55. Winds stay light, but we'll see a southwest breeze develop in the afternoon with a few gusts up to about 15 miles per hour. Tonight turns mostly cloudy with a low around 38 and a light southwest wind. Wednesday brings a 50% chance of showers after lunch, mostly cloudy skies and a high near 50. Winds switch around to the northwest later in the day. Wednesday night, we could see a brief mix of rain and snow after about 9 p.m. Then that chance fades out. Mostly cloudy, colder with a low near 23 and a north-northwest breeze that could gust up to 25. And that wraps up today's edition of Cullman Today. Thank you for sharing your morning with us. And remember to stay connected by following us on social media and visiting CullmanTribune.com for the latest from our community. We'll be back bright and early tomorrow morning at 6:30 a.m. Until then, I'm Christine Wiggins with Cullman Today. Have a great day, Cullman.